You're looking in my Emacs editor at one of the working files called servletexercise.txt. So it's a short programming exercise. The intent is to give you a chance to play a little bit with the Predictions2 web service. So let me get right to the main part. If you look at the servlet code, there are, of course, the do post, the do put, the do delete, but of particular interest to us, the do get method. And this is the request handler. The do get implementation is a little bit tricky because there are two decision points. The first is this. The code needs to determine whether the incoming get request is a request to read all predictions or to read a single prediction. And in the case of a single prediction, the prediction ID is provided as part of the query string. This is because a GET request doesn't have a body. Our interest is in the second decision point. That decision point is about whether to send the requester the default document type, that's XML, or to send a JSON document instead. So here's a quick review of the relevant logic. There's a local variable called JSON, initialized to false. So as you can see, the type is Boolean. We then use the very convenient request data structure. It's a map to get the header to see if there is an accept key in the HTTP header. So again, the Servlet API gives us access basically to all parts of the incoming HTTP request. If there is such a header, in other words, the client has put it in, and in one of the test curl scripts, and in fact in two of them, I do that. If there is an accept header, then we check to see if it contains the keyword JSON. If it does, we assume that the client wants a JSON document, and we respond accordingly. Now, the exercise basically is to enhance this flexibility by first doing this in a slightly different way, and second, by giving the client the option of getting back plain text. So a GET request could now send back three different types of payload. XML, that could remain the default, JSON, or plain text. So here's the idea. If you come down to these sample GET requests, you see get/predictions2. That would be understood as read all, and the return document would be XML. The second example, get predictions, and here comes the query string, $ID equals 12. This would send back a single prediction. Again, the default document type, XML, would be used. Third example would send back all of the requests in JSON. So this would be an alternative to the current implementation. We wouldn't check the header. Instead, we would check the query string. And the code above shows how you would extract this. The fourth example does the same thing, but for a single prediction, sticking with 12. The suggested change to the code would now be to support plain text as one of the MIME types. So you would do that with something like query string type equals plain. That would be, again, read all, or type equals plain and ID equals 12. That would pick up a specified prediction and send it back as plain text. It's a fairly straightforward exercise. It will come into play in the next lesson when we start to look at JAX RS.